No stage victor today, but Tom Pidcock, the biggest winner on the road. That was a phenomenal performance from the Yorkshireman, who's made his way onto the podium. Adam.
Go on, Tom. I'm buzzing about that. That is the first time Jonas Vingegaard has been distanced this race, and the only other man to distance him is none other than Tadej Pogacar. So I am excited. Tom Pidcock is now a GC rider, 100% through and through.
Do you want to flatten that table a bit more? There we go.
Come on, Tom. I am excited for this. No, this is...
I'm happy to see this. I've been waiting for you to get excited about Tom Pidcock, and I've understood your reticence. However, this feels like a moment of arrival for Tom.
It's probably like first choice today as well, isn't it?
No, it's not. Well, actually, I have got points for today. But, you know, the performance that Tom's done in here, if this was the Tour de France, we'd be shouting from the rooftops about what's just happened. Because it's the Vuelta, we look at it differently. But there's no beating around the bush. He's just dropped Jonas Vingegaard, one of the best Grand Tour riders in the past 10, 15 years. We really have to get behind that performance that Tom's done, because I think, and arguably, that will be a performance that Tom puts above a lot of things. I'm not going to even try to say what he might put it against, but that is a phenomenal performance by him, and something that he's been training for and focusing on, and the morale, the encouragement his team will take from that is huge.
I know, I think we quite rightly shout from the rooftops about this. It's simply a different atmosphere coming off the back of today's stage, because there is no stage winner. They've not been fighting for that outright victory. But this is a day for Tom Pidcock to celebrate, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, definitely. It is a shame, but we know the circumstances. But the way that he distanced Jonas there, as Adam said, I've got to echo that. I mean, we know it's exceptionally significant. But what Tom has done is looked at this stage. We had him down, we tipped him for the win today, and that for me is a moral win anyway.
Yeah,
in terms
absolutely.
of, I think he probably would have put Jonas away in the sprint, but we'll never know. But he was turning himself inside out there. You could see the grimace on his face, and then we saw Jonas sit back down and almost like shake his head, and we saw his gritted teeth as well. We very rarely see Jonas in that sort of position. We heard the other day from Tom his best 20-minute power. I'd love to see his 5-minute power on this climb. But look at it. How often do you see his head go down like that? It's a different sort of body language. He's recruiting every single muscle fibre in his body to create a gap against one of the finest riders of his generation. Even Vingegaard's looking around to see what's the devastation behind. He ripped this race apart on his favoured terrain. So what we're seeing here, in his pursuit of trying to do as well as he can in the Grand Tour, he's able to beat the Tom Pidcock that we know and love on the terrain where he can make a difference. OK, we've got all these big climbs to come. We don't know what's in the future. Let's hope that he can continue to be a threat. But for him to be pure Tom Pidcock halfway through a Grand Tour and tear it, tear it apart like that is absolutely fantastic. His team are going to be chuffed. We're chuffed. we're waxing lyrical. Brilliant stuff. I mean, he's going to be so happy. He really, really is.
OK, and explain for us then exactly why we are getting so excited, because he, in the end, only took 2 seconds on Jonas Vingegaard.
Right.
He took the 6 seconds bonus, didn't he? And Jonas took the 4, so he only took 2 seconds back. The fact that he's moved into podium position is part of what's crucial here. Torsten Traun will have moved out of that. So he's now going to be 56 seconds behind Jonas Vingegaard. So not that much closer, but the fact that he was able to not only match Jonas on a 16% climb, but distance him, that bodes incredibly well. Stage 11, halfway deep into Vuelta A Espana, notoriously one of the most, the most difficult, the climbiest of the Grand Tours.
I agree, yeah. I think the main thing is here for Tom, he's climbed back into third. He was always going to do that in the position that he's in because of Torsten Traun, so he was always going to jump into that position. This is not necessarily about the position he's jumped to and how much time he's took on Jonas. It's about the mental battle against everyone else, and I think...
And maybe over himself?
Yes, I think that's one of the other things. And we do have to remember it's a short climb. As Matt said, this really does suit him on this terrain. We've got a lot longer climbs coming up, which are more difficult for Tom, as we know. But the mental battle that he's got against Almeida and Jonas, this is the most important for me, that he will have confidence and the others will start to look at him in a, can't let him go now, can't let him go now, can't play around with Tom Pidcock. As everyone does in a Grand Tour, they probably will have a bad day. I think then you start to race differently against these people because you think they'll eventually have a bad day. With Tom, he's not proven over this length of time, so they'll look at him and saying he's not too much to worry about. However, the performance he put in today, they'll have a lot to worry about with Tom because there is a lot of short, punchy climbs coming up that suit Tom down to the ground. So he has, today, he's won a mental battle against them, I think, which I'm chuffed to bits about.
Absolutely. What about Visma-Lease and their performance today, though? Their man still in that red jersey and looking fairly comfortable at the end of it all.
Yeah, if I were to say that Visma-Lease were handing me a school book when I was a teacher, I'd give them A+. I think they rode brilliantly. They controlled the race from the off. We said the biggest threat today was getting it wrong tactically and being on the back foot. So what did we see? A little break went up the road with just 3 riders. Pedersen, what a ride by him, Marc Soler, and Ola went up the road, and they didn't let it get more than a minute and a half. And then when there was a counter-attack, they put a rider in every single counter-attack, including Victor Campenaerts, deep into the race. They made sure Matteo Jorgensen didn't do too much. He lit it up at the end, only to be countered by Pidcock. But from a collective perspective, coming into the final when the selection was made, they still had 5 riders. Okay, so 4 riders in support of the man in the red jersey. So Visma-Lease an absolute masterclass in using and deploying their resource over a very complex, difficult course today. So A+.
What did you make of João Almeida then?
Good. I think good, solid. I think where he's at, yeah, it's good. You can't really... We can tear apart that final climb in the distance that Tom took over someone, but they are really, really specific efforts. And we know that João isn't the big explosive rider. He's more of a diesel. So on the longer climbs that we mentioned, it will suit him. He will just start to worry that if there are big accelerations at the top of the climb, as Tadej's done in the Tour de France, he'll get 10 seconds, he'll get 5 seconds, he'll get 10. And if he starts to lose them on Tom, if he keeps repeating that, that will start to be his worry. Because it doesn't matter what your legs do. If Tom can hold your wheel, he might be able to take a little bit of time. So that'll be the worry for Almeida. Just on what you were saying on Visma, Dylan van Baarle today, like, flipping it.
Yeah.
What
a rider.
Like, unbelievable. Like, there was 3 riders out front, Marc Soler, Ola and Mads Pedersen. He held them with a little bit of help from Kelderman. I'd say he did 70% of that work today, and he was still there coming into that final climb. That is, without the doubt, like the ride of the day for me, to control not just a little break, 3 proper hitters in that break, and he controlled it single-handedly.
Yeah.
Single-handedly? As well
Single-handedly.
Single-handedly. He did a single-handedly great job today.
We need to give a shout to Ben Tullett as well. He was there in the final as well, controlling things. We did shout-outs left, right and centre. Who else we got? Marc Soler.
Well, shall we give a shout-out to Victor Campenaerts? We haven't done him yet, have we? Let's
go on, Victor.
Victor Campenaerts, it looked like you guys had a plan today. You were controlling all day. Tell us about what the game plan was.
Going for a stage win was the game plan, and we just on this parcours we knew it would be very difficult to control, and because a lot of riders would be motivated to be in the break. But Dylan and Wilco, they did an amazing job. They just were actually pacing from the start, and 3 good riders went up the roads, but quite soon they realized this will not happen today. Unfortunately, there are no results today, but I think we can be confident. Let's say maybe Almeida is the rider that we fear the most, and we take some time on him, if I'm correct. So we can look back on a good day. Yeah.
When and how did you get the news of the race would be neutralized after 3Ks?
I think it was like about 10K before we entered the last climb, so everybody knew quite well what the situation was. It's unfortunate, we like to have a result, but the work was not for nothing. There are GC gaps taken.
Thank you, Victor.
Thank you.
Seems happy with the day's outcome anyway. You've got to say well done to the organisers for dealing with a very difficult situation in a clear and concise way. And we often criticise race organisers for being a bit shambolic, and it's a difficult job to have to do. But they managed that very well. The riders all knew exactly what was happening, and no complaints with how that all panned out in the end, I would say. So they were going for the stage win, Adam, with Jonas.
Like, guaranteed from the start today when they're riding like that. I mentioned
I said they're going for the stage win, and you said, well, he only said he would like to have the stage win. He's not saying he's going for the stage win. And I went for Jonas Vingegaard go for the stage win. Yeah, so I was saying that I was right and you were wrong.
No, I was saying that they can go for the stage win, but he wasn't going to win against Pidcock, which is obvious because Pidcock was flying. Thank you very much.
Jonas got to 3K first and just said.
Let's not go who did when to what to where. I think today, the way they rode, we said this in commentary, that the work that the team's done today, you can't just let that opportunity go in front of you. That is a huge amount of work done.
Yeah.
As we talked about, and the one way to repay your team is by getting a very good result. Like Victor said, trying to take time on GC, but if you can really repay your team, that's with a win for all the hard work that the team's done. So, yeah, for them it is a shame, obviously. I think for Tom as well it's a shame, because that was an opportunity that could have gone for his second Grand Tour stage win. But, yeah, there's circumstances, and they can still be very happy with the way that I think Jonas performed, but... Yeah, more than anything, the team today. I think that was one big thing for that team, is they've gone, try and play with... I was going to really swear then. Try and play with us.
I'm glad you did it. Thank you.
Me too.
Victor there saying that João Almeida has been their biggest worry, which you can understand given his pedigree.
Not anymore.
In stage racing.
Pidcock in town. Sorry.
Funnily enough, I think you're preempting what I was going to ask. Given the team that João has around him, do you think that will change now? Do you think they'll start to be a bit more concerned about Tom Pidcock?
I think Tom Pidcock now is coming into stark focus with each day, with each performance, with his demeanour, the way he's riding. Not many riders drop Jonas' finger and go. So, no. I'm just building up to try and answer this question. I honestly think that still the biggest threat is Almeida, because of his experience and how he can ride these longer climbs. But Tom Pidcock, they're going to be thinking, OK, I think the biggest threat is Almeida on the long climbs. I do. I think we saw that the other day when Tom Pidcock could only just about... No, I'm just being objective, mate. I'm just being objective. I think it's brilliant. I actually think it's brilliant.
Go with that more.
By the way, I absolutely love how reluctant you have been all race, Adam, to declare Tom Pidcock a GC rider, and we can't get too excited too soon. And now it's, way, hey, man! I don't know why that went Newcastle.
All of a sudden, Newcastle. Well,
but now you are fully on board that Tom Pidcock GC train.
Why are you, man? I am behind it. No, I've always been behind Tom. I have said this from all my criticism about Tom, that he's not proven. He's still not proven. But that performance he did today, he dropped Jonas' finger for crying out loud. It's huge, and it's just... Because it's not the world, because under the circumstances the race is in, it should be screamed about, it should be shouted about. Because in Tom's head... That will be massive, you know. The people that he's put away today, the people that he's distanced, that's a huge thing. And there might not be a stage win at the end of it, but, like, mentally, that is a huge thing for Tom Pidcock and for us Brits to get behind.